Hi, it's T with Teaquilts, and today I'm going to show you how to make pattern boxes, numerous pattern boxes that you can put different designs in or the same design. Like if you're doing a sampler quilt and you want something to go over your sampler blocks, but then something different to go into your sashings and cornerstones. So today I will be showing you that. So my tripod has decided to break today, where my arm that holds it up will not stay up. So I am just going to show you how I make a regular pattern box up here so you can see the process, because I'm going to put you down on the quilt so you can see exactly where I'm going. But to make a pattern box, you hit this plus, and then you tell the machine where you want to start your pattern box. And this is not where I'm going to put it. I'm just showing you this as an example. So the first thing I do is I move my machine to where I want it to start. I hit the plus. And if I'm making a square, I can just go diagonally across and make the square. But when we're quilt making, most times things are not square. And so what I want to do is just mark all 4 of my corners. And so up here, you see now we have a check mark. If we hit the check mark, we're telling it that we're done. I want to hit the plus again because I want a square. So I'm moving my machine, hit a plus, and then I move it up to the top where the square ends. Whoops, I missed a point, sorry. Let me back up. Sometimes I touch the screen and it doesn't react, so let me do that again. And then I'm going to move it up, and now we're going to hit the check mark to let it know that we're done. Okay, so that's how you make a pattern box. And then if you want to make another one, you hit the plus, and then you start your next pattern box. Okay, so we're going to go back and we're going to delete the pattern box that we just created. Okay. See, now we're sitting on 1 of 2. So this is my quilt area, the entire area of my quilt from edge to edge, and that's from the edge of my backing fabric. But if I go over to number 2, you can see the box that I just created. So I just want to delete that box, but I don't want to start over with doing the whole quilting area. Okay, so now I'm going to put you down so you can see how I'm going to make all of these boxes first, and then I'm going to come back and put the patterns in it, and then I'll show you how you stitch it out. Alrighty, so I'm going to start making pattern boxes. I'm going to start from this yellow all the way down to this purple right here, and I'm just going to leave the camera and just know that the pattern, how I showed you how to create a pattern box, I'm going to be clicking up on the screen, but it's the exact thing that I just showed you. So I want to go ahead and hit plus for a pattern box. I'm in my upper corner on my yellow square. I'm going to hit the plus, come down to the corner, hit the plus, go over to the corner here, hit a plus, and then when I get to the top, that's when I'm going to hit the check mark so that I can stop. Now I've just completed 1 pattern box and it's on the screen. Now I'm not moving my machine. I'm going to go ahead and now do the pattern box for this sashing piece. So I'm not moving the machine. I'm going to go ahead and hit plus, and then I'm going to hit, I did the plus for add another pattern box, and now I'm hitting the green plus for set that point because I haven't moved my machine. I'm going to go down, do a plus, go over, do a plus, go back up and hit the green check mark. I'm going to do this one more time on camera where I'm talking you through it. We're going to hit the plus for add another pattern box. I'm going to hit the green plus without moving because I just ended in the same spot I want to start. I'm going to hit the green plus, go around this square in the corners, hit a plus, back up to the top and hit the check mark. Okay, I'm going to continue that until I have 8 pattern boxes. Okay, I have all of my pattern boxes. You can see where I have 8 of 8. I actually need 7 pattern boxes, but I also have my quilt area in a separate pattern box, so that's why I have 8 of 8. So when we start to go back to add patterns, I want to go back and start at number 2. So here's pattern box number 2 for my yellow square. And I'm just going to take you back so that you can see pattern box number 1 is actually my entire quilt area. So now I want to go to pattern box number 2. Okay, so now we're going to go over here and hit patterns. And I know which patterns I want to put into my quilt. So I am just typing those in. And in my yellow, I want pineapples. And then I'm going to hit this green check down here. And it's going to pull up any patterns that has the word pineapples in it. I just only happen to have one. And so I'm going to go ahead and select that pineapple block. I'm going to hit the check mark. And you can see the background of my square back here telling me what size my square is. My pineapple block is too big for it. So what I'm going to do is go into sizing right here. And I'm going to put this lock on so that it sizes it evenly, both horizontally and vertically. And then I'm going to hit smart size. Okay, so you can see we've got a little room up at the top. We also have, you know, where it's on the edge. We could squeeze it all in, leave some space. But I think what I'm going to do is just, it's not that much different. So I'm going to go ahead and stretch this pineapple up just a little. It will distort just a tad. Okay, so that's where I want it. Once I'm done with that, I don't need to hit save or anything. That is where it's going to stitch. All I need to do is now go from 2 to 3. And 3 is my sashing, my black sashing that's right next to the yellow. So my pattern boxes are in the order that I created them. So for my sashing, I also know what I'm going to put is 2106. So we're going to go back and get a layout, get a pattern box, and we're just going to type in the pattern numbers. And I will continue to do this all the way down the quilt. So when I get this part done, I will come back and show you all of my screens with all of my pattern boxes completed. Okay, so I'm still on the sashing right next to the yellow because I forgot to show you how when you have a pattern going one direction but I want it to go in the order of this sashing, how to do that. May as well handle that as well. We're going to be rotating our design. So what I want to do is go into this rotate button here, third down, and it's going to ask me down here how much do I want to rotate. I can type it in, but I know that I want it 45 degrees twice, so I'm just going to tap it twice and it'll put it in the right orientation. And now since I'm in sashing, I might want to put 2 of those into the sashing, so I'm going to increase it 1, and we now have it rotated and we have it in the order how we want it. So now I'm just going to click on this and I'm going to move it into position. And you can see where it's a little bit longer than what I want. So I'm just going to go ahead. I can try to use auto size first. So let's try that first to see if it works. Auto fill. And it did work. It pulled everything up. And if I still want it a little bit plump, I can just move this out. And then I can also, if I'm not, because I don't want to distort the design too much, I can go to move. Well, on this one, it's not going to work with move. If you're trying to center, it won't center for some reason. It think it's somewhere else, but I'll show you anyway. But you'd hit this center button for center, and then the center button down here for center. And for some reason, it doesn't work when you rotate. So I just have to pick it up anyway and move it back. So I don't even use the move function at this point. I can use the move keys if I feel like it's not centered. I can just take it over a little bit. And it's moving quite a bit. So we'll just leave it right there. So that's how you rotate a design as well, using the rotate icon, the third down. This one here is the rotate icon, the third from the top. So let me go ahead and finish all of these pattern boxes and I'll be right back. Okay. So I'm back and I have all of my patterns inside of their pattern boxes. I can hit this button here to show you where all the patterns are in their boxes. But I want to be on one particular pattern and I want to go up and hit the needle key so that I can stitch this out. So the needle key, because I just cut this on for today, it wasn't highlighted, so make sure your needle is on. I'm going to hit the green button. And then this is where it's a little bit different. Instead of hitting the check for it's okay for you to go ahead and start, we want to tell it to stitch out all of these patterns. Otherwise, it's only going to stitch out pattern number 2. It's going to stitch them out in the order that you put them in. So we want to tell it to set the pattern order. And over here, I have all of my pattern boxes. Now, I took one pattern box out because I wanted to, and I put it back in because I wanted to show you how to rearrange them. If you want all of these pattern boxes to stitch out as is, you just hit the all, and all of your pattern boxes will go over. However, I made sure that I put one out of order. Pattern box number 8 shouldn't be in that particular order. I took one out. I took out pattern box number 5 and then put it back in on the end and made it number 8. So we're going to put this all back to our left. And what we're going to do is one by one put these over. So 3, 4 is fine. Pattern box number 8 is really following Lisa's lace, so I want to put that one next. And then we can go ahead and tell it to put all. So as you can see over here, pattern box 8 is now after pattern box number 4, and that's exactly what I want. And then once I hit this green button for go, it knows I want it to stitch all the patterns, not just one, and it will start to move. So I'm going to hit that green check mark and then the machine will start moving to stitch out the second pattern box. And I'm going to pull up my bobbin thread here. And when I actually pull up my bobbin thread, I'm not going to have you sit and watch this sew out. I'll come back when it's kind of close to the end. And then I will show you how it goes from one pattern box to the next. Sometimes you may have to clip your threads. Other times it may do a jump stitch depending on how large your jump stitch is. I have a thread break. Okay guys, I'm back. I had to actually restart my Vision 2.0 software. I've never had that happen before. Okay guys, this is time number 3. This time I rebooted my whole Gamma Vision 2.0 software. I also did some stitching over here to make sure that it was working. And now we're going to go back and see if we can stitch this out. Okay, so I don't know why it's trying to do my tie off stitch. That's exactly what it keeps stitching, and if it does it this time, I know that it's this system. I'm on regulate up at the top. Okay, so it was the Gamma system, and I rebooted the entire computer system, and it works. So thank goodness. Okay, so now I just didn't want to get cut off in the end of a sentence, and then you all see that things don't always go as planned. And when this pineapple gets to the end, I'm going to try to catch it before it does the either jump stitch and move to stitch the sashing, or it tells me that I need to change that. So we're getting close to the end of the stitching on the pineapple panto, and so we are now going to do some grid work. It's probably going to stop and ask me to clip my thread, because the next start is up at the top, and I don't think I have mine set that wide. I think I have it set for 6 inches for my jumps, and right up here it's letting you know that it's wanting me to cut the thread. And then when I cut the thread, it's going to jump automatically over to the new spot and ask me to pull up the thread. And then it will continue stitching. So I'm hitting the check mark that I've cut the thread. The machine moves to the next position, does a pull-up stitch. So I didn't have to go back and tell it to start stitching again. It knows that I want all of these patterns stitched and in which order I want those patterns to stitch out. This is one of the reasons why I purchased this system, because I like this particular feature. And this one should stitch pretty quickly, so I'm going to let this one stitch out. It's going to end here, but I'm going to assume that my next stop is going to be either here or there. So we'll see if it wants me to clip my threads. So that's where it's going to stop. And then our next start is going to be actually here. It's going to do a jump stitch. It will go that far. So I just want you to see the machine manually moving by itself. And now it's doing a tie off on its own because it know it just did a jump stitch, and it's going to go ahead and start stitching the next pattern. Now that it's done its start, I can go in here and cut my jump stitch, and then when I get it off the machine, I can also cut it from the back. So I will see you in my next video. I hope this is helpful to someone. Thank you all so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Share my channel with your other quilting friends, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye, Teaquilters. Stay blessed.